Welcome. I am so excited to be here with Stephanie today. She has the most awesome experience about transitioning out of the classroom. Hey, Stephanie, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much. I'm happy to be here with you today.
So, you have a really unique experience for your decision to leave the classroom. So, what happened?
Yeah, I have been teaching for 16 years as a high school teacher and saw myself doing this really through retirement. I'm really thankful not to be a disgruntled teacher, to still love what I'm doing in education. However, um, at the end of the school year, last school year, so 2024, I had the opportunity to meet with my principal to do our end of the school year review, and he started asking me questions about what I wanted next. But I actually went home that night and did some Google searches that I had never in 16 years considered doing and found some really cool opportunities that I thought might fit with my skill set. And my principal, unbeknownst to him, kind of encouraged me to think outside, not just the box, but outside the classroom. And just from there, started exploring. And so I had a lot of encouragement from my principal to know that sometimes there is more beyond the classroom. He might have thought that it was becoming an admin, but I thought bigger. And so, yeah, that was kind of how it started.
That is so, I love the fact that you were encouraged by your principal. Okay, because we hear so many stories where our teachers are not. I love that and where it turned out. So, did you go back to school? And I know you had another job. And what was it like leaving? Because I know a lot of teachers are really concerned about leaving school. How did your principal treat you when you left?
I was really lucky. While my principal did encourage me last April, he didn't really encourage me to go find another job. He encouraged me to explore the question of what I want next. And that turned out getting a new career. So that started March of 2024. And so I continued as all teachers do. We go back in August, and it was a weird feeling to know that I was still kind of maybe fostering these potential relationships and jobs while going back in the classroom. It wasn't a great feeling at all. I felt like I would be doing a disservice to those students, to my principal. But I was also encouraged by Cindy that, sometimes we do have to do what's best for ourselves and our family. And while our students are really important, we can often fail ourselves if we don't follow that. And so I was worried and nervous, but on the second week of school, I received an offer, and it was an offer that I knew I wanted to go with, but that also meant going in and talking with my principal. Mind you, he was encouraging, but now I'm back at work. Kids are in my classroom. We've barely gotten through the syllabus. And I'm going to have to say, I've chosen to take this opportunity. And it felt like I would be leaving them hanging. However, I think it's super important to remember that we have cheerleaders where we least expect them. While my boss would, of course, want me to stay, he was a huge cheerleader in saying to follow what's best for you and your family. And he actually celebrated me. We had a really cool opportunity on my last day of work where he asked me to come out of my classroom. He wanted to show me something. And as we turned around the corner, the entire student population was lined up on through the hallway cheering. They made signs to say goodbye. And it was only the third week of school. Some of them I barely knew. And the students had orchestrated that. And so I think it's really important to note that when you're transitioning outside the classroom, it doesn't mean that you don't like your job anymore. And it doesn't mean that you're not successful or good at it, that you are taking your skill set and applying it in a different way. And when you follow that and you follow the steps, it's actually a lot easier to transition, not to get the job always, but to transition than what we thought. We're not tied to the classroom. We can really find success beyond it.
Love the story and love getting that video from you of the screaming celebration party. So let's tell everybody because when we started working together, you got that job really fast.
I did.
Let's tell, it was really fast. Let's tell everybody what you're doing and what your job is and how much you love it.
Yes, I'm working for a company called Find Your Grind. It is a startup ed tech company. We're in our first 5 years. Within our product, they're able to discover and explore different skill sets, different lifestyles that will then lead them to different careers. And I have the opportunity to create a lot of that content.
It's so cool. And you work 100% remotely now, right?
I do. I'm currently in my playroom upstairs or my children's playroom that's now converted into my office. It is 100% remote, and it was, the company sends you a computer to get yourself all set up, and companies all offer different types of benefits, but working remotely. We have a schedule that we follow, but also it is flexible and creating your own workspace and work time and being able to pick up my children after school. In 16 years, I've never, ever seen my children off to school in the morning because I had to be at school before their school started. So, getting to say bye to my kids in the morning and then receive them home in the afternoon has been a lifestyle change that's been quite welcome, and I'm very thankful for.
Talk to me about the job, right? So you noticed that even early on, you were recognized for talents and skills, and you were given a tremendous amount of responsibility. How's it feel? How are you loving it?
Um, I feel very valued first. The company I work for does a fantastic job in honoring and valuing your skills. There's also a lot of autonomy in saying, we hired you because of the skill set. Here's a project you're going to work on. Go and do it and make it happen. And we trust that you are making the decisions to help this product be the best version of the product that it can be. When feedback is given, it's always from a place of like, let's make the product better and not critical of your work. I wasn't always used to, or I haven't been used to working where I'm given that trust and autonomy. In the classroom, we're told, here's the lesson, you got to do it this way. We're going to make sure you do it this way. And so I think I've had this creativity like locked inside of me for a long time that I'm getting to utilize, and it feels like me. And that is a really great feeling.
It's awesome. Aren't there like weekly shout outs where you're celebrating everybody's professional wins and personal wins?
Yeah, we utilize Slack, which, as an educator, there's so much that I had to get used to in the corporate world that I just wasn't exposed to before, in terms of different platforms. And so we use Slack, and we have a high fives channel, and everybody, not just the leadership, but anybody can go on and give a shout out. I had the opportunity to sit in on an onboarding call with a colleague and just listen to her interacting with some teachers and admin. And it was so impressive. I had no idea what she did before or what her job looked like. And I was really impressed and blown away. She was also a transitioned teacher. And so you just go on the high five channel and shout them out, great job. And it's a great way when you are working remotely, since you don't get to see people doing their work through their office or their window, to kind of shout out to everyone how great they're doing. It feels good to see those shout outs when you get them and when you give them as well. And so there's a lot of areas within the company that you get to be seen, even though you're working remotely.
It sounds awesome. Absolutely
Mhm.
awesome. And you were so happy, so beaming.
I
So
am.
So let's tell everybody. So you were talking earlier about how you were looking for jobs this month, that month, and we hadn't started working together at any of those times. Talk
No.
to me about, so what happened? How did I help you out? I think it was like 4 months that you were searching on your own before we started working together. So what did
Yes.
this look like?
So one thing I like to tell Cindy is that she's a straight shooter, and that's the thing that changed the game for me. I did start, I had a resume that, in my opinion, was fantastic, but my resume was fantastic if I were looking for teaching positions. And when I was looking for jobs, they were still in the world of education. So I kind of assumed all the amazing things I did in the classroom would transfer clearly to some of these educational companies. And I did all my research. I went online. I like did all the reading and kind of taught myself how to use LinkedIn and how to market myself. But for 4, maybe 5 months, I got 2 interviews, one of which was for a job that turned out to not be the actual job. It was a part-time gig, and the other one was a scam. And so when I saw Cindy, and there's a lot of people that are offering these particular services, but Cindy stood out to me in 2 ways. One, she works specifically with transitioning teachers and with women, and two, she is going to get the job done. If you agree to take on what she is telling you to take on, there's no question that that straight shooter. This is how you do it. It's helpful, and so the few things that I took that, I mean, so much that she gave me was change, like life changing. But the 2 areas that I think really helped me land a job was the cover letter writing, that every job application should have a specific cover letter. That was a game changer. And then taking my resume and taking all of my skills, everything that is true to me, but taking them out of the language of the classroom and using it in the language of like the world out there. And that was like marketing myself. Within, I think it was by like the second week of really working to put those resumes and cover letters out there, I had multiple emails back, and I think two, maybe three actual interviews, one of them being the
Excellent.
job that I took. So that process showed me that in those 4 to 5 months I was working on my own, it wasn't for me, I wasn't lacking encouragement. I knew what I wanted and I knew that I needed to get there. But as a classroom teacher, I did not understand the process of resumes and cover letters and how to market myself to the world outside of those 4 walls. And I really needed, I didn't, out of everything I read, and that I followed the directions for, it didn't work until Cindy really showed me how to do that. And I truly believe that the cover letter portion of it is a game changer. And that's really how she helped me in this process, or how you helped me in this process.
Thank you. I agree. The cover letter can be a game changer. Yeah, it was awesome. And we did interview coaching. There were
We did.
many interviews for this job and responding to some difficult correspondence that they had.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some ups and downs in there, nothing terrible, but Cindy was always a text message away for me to say, this is what they said, this is what happened, what should I do next? There were even correspondence where I felt confident in what I wanted to say and respond to, but it was nice having Cindy's voice. I always told Cindy her voice was in my head, kind of helping lead me. When you meet with Cindy once a week for 45 minutes, that voice comes in your head. You know how she's training you or how you're training us, me. And that, if there was a moment where I couldn't jump on with you, it's like, well, Cindy would say this. And I only knew that because I went through all of the courses, the modules. I listened to your voice over and over again to the point where, like, even if I didn't have you live, I knew how you would guide me. And so that was really, really helpful.
Well, thank you so much. I am just so proud of you. I'm so happy for your success. Every part about your story is amazing.
Thank you. I would not have gotten, I mean, look, 5 months in and I got nowhere, and 2 to 3 weeks in, I had a lot of success. And I tell people, even I had a meeting before this with my colleagues, and I was like, I'm going to meet with Cindy, my job coach. I sing your praises. Anybody that's asking me, I'm like, there's a lot out there that's not helpful, but you've got, to me, it seems that you've gotten the formula figured out. And I think that anybody looking to transition out of the classroom or moms out of the home, um, it's not difficult to trust you. You bring us into an environment that lets us know that we're going to be taken care of as long as we are willing to put in the work as well. And I think if that's what people are looking for, Cindy's your girl.
Well, thank you so much. I can't think of a better place to end this than right there. Thank you so, so much. I wish you
Of
so much
course.
continued success.
Hey, thanks, Cindy. I appreciate your time as well.